Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On the third day of the 2026 Baro Europe Junior and Under 23 Spring Championships. Our first start in the afternoon program is at 2:30. As I mentioned, we will have semi-finals. The start is 200 meters and our first semi-final is for junior women in Canadian canoe singles. We will have also one semi-final for under 23 women in C1. We have three semi-finals for junior men in K1 in 200 meters. Then two semi-finals for junior men in C1.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Szeged, Hungary for the 2026 Paddle Europe Junior Under 23 Canoe Sprint European Championships. My name is Rebby Simon, a former Team GB canoeist and Rio 2016 Olympian, and I'll be your commentator for this weekend's racing. We've got an exciting afternoon of semi-finals this afternoon, starting with some 500-meter racing. Then we'll move on to some 200s, then back to the 500 later this afternoon. Our first race on course will be the C2 Junior Women 500-meter semi-final one. There's only one semi-final in this event, so top three from this race will advance on to the A final. We'll then have some K4 racing, as well as some C1s, K1s, and then we'll move on to some K2s as well. So first start of this afternoon is the C1 Junior Women 200 meters semi-final. You can see the start list already up on the screen. Start time is 2:30 p.m. this afternoon. As you can see, on the start list, in lane 1 we'll have Finn from Denmark, lane 2 we'll have Dianati from Italy, and lane 3 we have Melina Skuatia from Lithuania. In lane 4 from the Czech Republic we have Verthe Merova. In lane 5 from Germany we have Kliemke. In lane 6 from Poland we have Novak, and in lane 7 from Portugal we have Lopez, and in lane 8 from Romania we have Matescu. So this will be the 200 meters for the C1 Junior Women. Top three will advance onto the A final, and the rest of the field will be out. We've already had 6 boats qualifying for the A final from the heat. So this is the last 3 spots up for grabs for the A final. The weather is still perfect here in Szeged. We have hot, sunny conditions with not much wind, a slight breeze, which has turned round from this morning. It's a slight head breeze, but not very noticeable out there on the lake, on the famous Matier Szeged course. Course that's held a lot of big international senior events, including Olympic qualifiers, World Cups, World Championships, and European Championships. The last time we had a junior under 23 European Championships here was in 2008, so it's been a long 18 years, if my maths is correct, since we've seen this competition here. For a lot of these athletes, it will be a course that they've only seen on the screen or on the live stream before. So a very exciting opportunity to start to try one of the world's best race courses in the world. For me personally, this is my favorite course that I've ever raced on, with some great races and great memories that I've created here. Usually we have fair conditions and fast conditions. More importantly, a lot of world records have been set here on this course in Szeged, and we'll see if there'll be any more set this weekend. We've already had a European best time from this morning, so let's see if we have any more in this next day and a half that we got left of this competition. You can see already the ladies lining up for the next race. They're in the starting area in their own lanes, waiting to be called into the start buckets. They need to be within the starting area 5 minutes before their race, and in their own lanes 3 minutes prior to the start time. So just one semi-final in this event. Top 3 advance to the A final, and the rest of the field will be out. You can see the ladies approaching the start buckets now. It's been a long time since we've had clear start buckets to make sure all athletes are all the way in the start and there's no drifting back. Into the start buckets they go, and the starters orders now ready to start the race. And there away, looks like lane 7, the Portuguese athlete caught the start the best out of this field. She's in the lead ahead of lane 3 and lane 4, the Lithuanian and the Czech athlete. They're your top 3 at the moment, with about 120 meters left of this race. They're going to the red boys now, meaning the last 100 meters, the second half of this 200-meter semi-final. We've still got lane 3, 4 and 7 in the lead. That's Lithuania, the Czech Republic and Portugal in your top 3 at the moment. But the Polish athlete Novak is also trying to get that 3rd spot to try and qualify for the A final. But it looks like it's going to go to Lithuania, Czech Republic and Portugal. They're your top 3 advancing onto the A final. There's your winner, Czech athlete from lane 4, taking that one of those spots into the A final. We have a swimmer in the race. Clear top 3 in this semi-final, no doubt about. So Czech wins, Lithuania 2nd, Portugal 3rd. We'll wait for the confirmation of the results from that race before we move on to the next semi-final. Here you can see the official results. The Czech Republic in the 1st, Lithuania in 2nd and Portugal in 3rd. There are your qualifiers onto the A final from this race. They'll be in the medal winning race tomorrow. In 3 minutes time we've got the next race lining up, which will be the under 23 women C1 200-meter semi-final. In lane 1 we have Czech Republic, Simova. In lane 2 Denmark, Quist. In lane 3 Georgia, Petriashvili. In lane 4 Azerbaijan, Smilovenko. In lane 5 Bulgaria, Angelova. In lane 6 France, Nico. In lane 7 Spain, Oliveira. In lane 8 Slovakia, Bonova. And in lane 9 Ukraine, Desitska. Once again, top 3 advance onto the final from this semi-final. And the rest of the field will be out. We've already had 6 boats from the heats advance to the final A earlier this weekend. So this is the last 3 spots up for grabs in this C1 under 23 women 200-meter event. You can see the girls coming up to the start buckets in their own lanes, approaching the start buckets, as you can see, taking different tactics, I guess. to how early they go into the bucket. Some like to be in a bit earlier than others to make sure they're settled, but some don't like to be in there too long. There we go, they're all in now, waiting for the starters' orders to get ready to go. And they're off. It looks like lane 6, the French athlete caught the start perfectly. She shoots out of the bucket to take the lead already in this first 30 meters of the race, ahead of lane 5 from Bulgaria. France leads at the moment, ahead of the Bulgarian athlete in lane 5. The race is on for third at the moment, but a lot can change still in this last 100 meters of this 200-meter semi-final. At the moment, France is still in the lead, with Bulgaria in second and Azerbaijan close behind in third. At the moment, we'll see at the finish line what the final result will be, but it looks like France will take the win, Bulgaria in second and Azerbaijan in third. And there your qualifiers onto the A final. Led right from the start all the way to the end. She'll be in the A final along with the 2 athletes next to her from Bulgaria and Azerbaijan. There you can see slow motion of that start. Perfectly caught by Nico, the French athlete in lane 6. No doubt about top 3. There's a confirmation of the result. France, Bulgaria and Azerbaijan advance onto the A final with top 3. That's their tickets booked for the medal winning competition tomorrow. Next start is in a few minutes. The K1 Junior Men 200-meter semi-final. Same as in the previous races. 1 semi-final in this event. So top 3 advance onto the A final with 4th. Sorry, my mistake. There's 3 semi-finals in this event. There's over 4 heats. So top 3 advance onto the A final, same as before, but 4th to 6th also go to the B final. You can see the start list for semi-final 1. Latvia, Lakis in lane 1. We have Great Britain, Avison in lane 2. Portugal, Martins in lane 3. Ukraine, Ryaznikov in lane 4. Czech Republic, Mack in lane 5. Italy, Arisi in lane 6. Spain, Carida in lane 7. Greece, Osipidis in lane 8. Slovenia, Motnik in lane 9. Start time for this first semi-final is 2:40, so a couple minutes. You can see the athletes coming up to the start line now in the starting area in their own lanes. Athletes approaching the start buckets now being called into the start. They'll take a few more moments to take some deep breaths to refocus. think about their plans and what they want to do in this semi-final. No doubt it's going to be a tight finish between these 9 athletes, all going for that top 3 finish to advance onto the A final. Going into the buckets now, waiting to be called for the start. And they're off. It looks like lane 5, the Czech athlete jumped out at the start, the quickest out of these 9 guys, and he's got the lead already over the rest of the field. Lane 6 from Italy is going with him as well, and so is the Portuguese in lane 3. They are top 3 at the moment, going into the last 100 meters of this race. The Czech athlete is still in the lead, slightly ahead of the Italian and the Ukrainian athlete next to him. In the last 30 meters of this race, no doubt it's going to come down to a photo finish. Czechia, Italy and Ukraine looks like they're the top 3 advancing onto the A final from this first semi-final of the K1 Junior Men 200 meter events. Thanking the fans in the stands. There's a lot of great Czech fans out here in Szeged cheering their friends, family and teammates on. They have drums, they have bells, they have loud voices, and that's exactly what you need as an athlete racing out here on the course. So top 3 will go to the A final. We'll wait for confirmation of who the 3 are advancing onto the B final. So we have 6 more spots up for grabs for that A final from the 2 next semi-final races. We have a few minutes left before the next start here on course, which will be the second semi-final of the K1 Junior Men 200 meter race. Another semi-final of 9 boats. We'll wait for confirmation of the result from semi-final 1. There's the results up on the screen. So Czech Republic, Italy and Ukraine advance onto the A final. Spain, Portugal and Greece go to the B final, while Great Britain, Slovenia and Latvia just miss out. So in the second semi-final of this event, we have Austria in lane 1. Kornoprops. In lane 2, we have Lithuania, Stoke. In lane 3, Georgia, Kapinos. In lane 4, the current world champion from Slovakia, Gavlider. In lane 5 from AINB, Dashinsky. In lane 6, AINA, Lepekian. In lane 7 from Cyprus, we have Kyriatou. In lane 8 from Poland, we have Drodziel. And in lane 9 from Croatia, we have Potoki. So we have the current world champion going in lane 4. No doubt he'll be one of the favourites to advance onto the A final. And the same as before, top 3 will go to the A final, with 4th to 6th going to the B final. You see the athletes approaching the start buckets now. They'll be under starters orders once they're all in. And they're away, clear start from the field here. Looks like lane 5 got the best of the start going into the first 50 meters of the race. That's the AIMB athlete along with the Slovakian next to him in the second place at the moment, going into the last 100 meters of the race. At the moment, it's lane 2, 4 and 5 in your top 3. So that's Lithuania, Slovakia and AIMB. But we'll wait to the end to see who the top 3 are to advance onto the A final. B, Slovakia and AIA go on to the A final, being the top 3 from the second semi-final of the junior men's K1 200 meter event. There's a winner on screen from the AIMB team. So AIMB athlete takes the win. The world champion from Slovakia comes in second, and the AINA athlete also advances onto the A final. So those 3 book their tickets for the A final. We'll wait for confirmation on who the 3 are advancing onto the B final of this event. We have one more semi-final from this event. That will be the last semi-final of the K1 Junior Men 200 meter. You see semi-final 3 already lining up in their starting area to get ready to go into the buckets. We'll see if we get confirmation before the next start line. So you can see the start list for the semi-final 3 of this K1 Junior Men 200 meter event. In lane 1 we have Azerbaijan, in lane 2 we have Sweden, lane 3 Moldova, lane 4 Denmark, in lane 5 we have Turkey, the current bronze medalist in this event and also already with a bronze medal from this morning's racing. In lane 6 we have Serbia, lane 7 Hungary, lane 8 Germany, and lane 9 Israel. So no doubt Karahan from lane 5 will be one of the favorites to make it onto the A final from this semi-final, being the current bronze medalist in this event. Is clearly in good form, having won a bronze medal already this morning. See, there's only 8 athletes lining up here and missing one. And the starters' orders now, getting ready. And they're off, all away cleanly from this third semi-final of this event. Lane 6 and lane 5, along with lane 8, so the German, Serbian and Turkish athlete out first in your top 3 at the moment, but the Hungarian is now catching up now, going into the last 70 meters of the race. It's going to be a tight finish for that top 3 to advance onto the A final. It looks like the Turkish athlete might have just passed the Serbian next to him. Looks like it's going to be Germany, Hungary and Turkey as your top 3 to advance onto the A final. But we'll have to wait for confirmation on that from the photo finish. No doubt about the winner. From up here we saw Turkey, Hungary and Germany come in as top 3. But we'll have to wait to see for the slow motion and the confirmed official result to know exactly who your A finalists are from this event. There we go, there's the official results. Turkey wins that race with Germany in 2nd and Hungary in 3rd. They're your top 3 going to the A final, with Serbia, Denmark and Moldova advancing to the B final. So all 9 finalists are now decided from this afternoon's semi-finals in this K1 Junior Men 200 meter event. Looks like the Hungarian timed the lunge to perfection to get that 3rd and final spot for the A final. Switching over to canoes now. We've got 2 semi-finals in the C1 Junior Men 200 meter event. Top 3 will go on to the A final, 4th to 7th, and the best 8th time advances to the B final. We have 2 minutes until the start of this semi-final. The first one, we'll have Italy in lane 1, Romania in lane 2, AAMB in lane 3, Portugal in lane 4, Bulgaria in lane 5, Germany in lane 6, Slovakia in lane 7, Azerbaijan in lane 8, and Lithuania in lane 9. There you have the start list up on the screens now as well. And in the background, you can see the athletes already lining up in the start area in their own lanes to go into the bucket for this first semi-final. The starts in these 200 meter events are crucial. one bad stroke and it can cost you an A final qualification in these semi-finals or in finals, a medal. So unlike the 1,000 meters from this morning, this is something that's really crucial in these 200-meter events and something they practice a lot. All in the buckets now, getting ready to be under starters orders. And they're off. It looks like lane 9. The Lithuanian athlete caught the start the best, along with lane 3 from AIMB. They're the two out in the front at the moment, along with lane 5 also from Bulgaria. The Portuguese and the German athletes are also going with them. Remember, it's top 3 advancing to the A final. Coming up to the last 100 meters of the race now. They're within the red boys of this semi-final now. And we still have lane 3 in the lead by almost a boat length ahead of the Portuguese athlete in lane 4. So AI and B takes the win, the Portugal in second and Bulgaria in third. There's your winner on screen, no doubt about that. Had a big lead over the rest of the field by almost a boat length ahead of the Portuguese athlete who took second. We'll wait for confirmation on who made it onto the B final from the semi-final as well. But no doubt about top 3. There's a finish in slow motion. Timing of the strokes of these canoe athletes are also really important when they reach the finish line. There we go. AIMB, Portugal and Bulgaria advance to the A final, and Germany, Slovakia, Romania and Italy go to the B final, with the Lithuanian athlete having to wait for the next semi-final to see if he gets the fastest 8th time to qualify to the B final as well. So in these canoe events, sometimes you see the surge of the stroke being badly timed for the finish line, and that can cost them a position if it's a close call between two boats. That's obviously not something they can control. Unfortunately, it just comes down to luck of when their last stroke is timed to within the race. So this is semi-final 2 in this C1 Junior Men 200 meters event. You see the start list up on your screen. In lane 1 we have Cyprus, lane 2 Georgia, lane 3 Poland, lane 4 Spain, lane 5 Ukraine, lane 6 Moldova, lane 7 Latvia and lane 8 Estonia. You can see the athletes now approaching the last 50 meters before the start buckets. They have to be within their lanes in the starting area 3 minutes prior to the official start time. Luckily, we don't have a side wind at the moment here in Szeged. It can especially affect these canoe paddlers, depending on which side they paddle on compared to where the wind is coming from. It suits them more if the wind is from the side they paddle on. It makes the steering easier. Whereas for the athletes paddling on the opposite side to where the wind's coming from. That means they have to spend more energy on steering the boat. But luckily, we don't have any of that right now. There's just a slight head breeze coming down the course here in Szeged, and the athletes go into the buckets now, getting ready to be under starters orders. Eight boats in this semi-final. And thereaway, looks like lane 5, the Ukrainian athlete caught the start, the best out of the field, and he's out. He's got the lead already over the rest of them by almost a boat length ahead of the Spanish and the Moldovan beside him in lanes 4 and 6. Ukraine still has the lead going into the last 100 meters of this race, but the Spanish athlete is challenging him for that win. Top 3 will go on to the A final. At the moment, we have Spain, Ukraine, and Moldova in your top 3 going into the last 30 meters of the race. Spanish has now taken over. He's got the lead. He'll win the semi-final with Ukraine in second and Moldova in third. They're your top 3 advancing onto the A final. You can see the lunge being timed to perfection by Lagares from Spain. The Ukrainian caught the start better, but the Spanish athlete had a better second 100 meters in this semi-final of the C1 Junior Men 200 meters. So that's all the tickets booked for the A final from this event, with 3 athletes already qualifying from the heats and another 6 going through from these 2 semi-finals that we've had. We'll wait for confirmation of who the athletes are going into the B final. Both athletes from Spain and Ukraine did a good job at lunging to the finish line. Looks like the Spanish athlete is happy with that, as he should be. He's in the A final. He's got a chance of winning a medal in tomorrow's final here in Szeged. There we go. We can see the official results. Spain, Ukraine, and Moldova go on to the A final, where Poland, Georgia, Latvia, and Estonia advance to the B final. Next race on course will be the K1 Junior Women 200 meter semi-finals. We've got 2 semi-finals in this event as well, similar to the one we had before in the C1. Top 3 will go to the A final, with 4th to 7th and the best 8th time to the B final. The rest of the field will be out. You can see the start list for the first semi-final for this event. In lane 1, we have AANA. In lane 2, Denmark. Lane 3, Slovakia. Lane 4, Romania. Lane 5, Austria. Lane 6, Bulgaria. Lane 7, Serbia. Lane 8, Poland. And lane 9, Lithuania. See the athletes now in the starting area in their own lanes, waiting to be called into the start buckets now. They'll be going through the race in their heads now, visualizing what they're going to do, taking some deep breaths to try and relax, calm the nerves, because A finals are up for grabs in this semi-final for these girls. There you can see the athletes approaching the start line. Some of them going in earlier than the others. They like to get settled there in the bucket, whereas some other athletes don't like to be in there for too long or longer than they need to. All in now, waiting for the starters' orders. Looks like they held the start a bit longer than some of the athletes expected to, but all out cleanly. And lane 6 from Bulgaria has the lead already over lane 1, who's in second, along with lane 9 and lane 7 from Serbia. So the Bulgarian athlete leads, and then we have 5 athletes pretty much in a line for that second and third spot for the A final. The Bulgarians still in the lead. It looks like, oh, that's going to be a tight one. Maybe the Romanian and the Austrian also advance along with the Bulgarian athlete to the A final, but we have to wait for confirmation of the top 3 from this event. That's Savova from Bulgaria taking the win, and no doubt about that. As you could see on the image just before, she's clearly happy with that, as she should be, as she's got her ticket for the A final, which is tomorrow. So she's got a chance of winning a medal here in Szeged. So Bulgarian takes the win. We'll wait for the confirmation of the results. But from up here, it looked like Bulgaria, Austria, and Serbia in top 3 to advance onto the A final. It's Bulgaria, Romania, and Austria, with Serbia just missing out. So Bulgaria, Romania, Austria go on to the A final, while Serbia, Poland, Denmark, and Lithuania advance to the B final. With the AINA athlete, we'll have to wait to see if she'll get the faster 8th time. We have one more semi-final in this event. Start will be in a few minutes. We can see the athletes lining up already. So we have Italy in lane 1, Spain in lane 2, Slovenia in lane 3, Ukraine in lane 4, Hungary in lane 5, Estonia in lane 6, Greece in lane 7, Portugal in lane 8, and Ireland in lane 9. Once again, top 3 will advance onto the A final with 4th to 7th and the best 8th time to the B final. see the athletes are going into the start buckets now, getting ready for the start. Under starters orders now. And they're off. It looks like lane 6 and lane 8. The Estonian and the Portuguese athlete caught the start best. Although at the moment it looks like Hungary are now leading in lane 5. So the Hungarian and the Ukrainian are your top two at the moment, with the Estonian in third, but being challenged also by the Spanish athlete in lane 2. Hungary holds onto the lead with the Ukrainian in second. It's Hungary, Ukraine and Estonia will make it into the A final. So top 3 were clear. We'll wait for confirmation on who the other 4 or potentially 5 are going to the B final. So all tickets are booked now for the A final from the heat and the semi-finals of this K1 Junior Women 200-meter event. You can see the replay of that semi-final now. Clear win from Hungary. Next race on course is in 3 minutes' time. It will be the K1 under 23 men's 200-meter semi-final 1. In this event, we have 2 semi-finals. Same as before, top 3 advance to the A final, 4th to 7th, plus the 1/8 best time to the B final. We can see the confirmation of the second semi-final results: Hungary, Ukraine, Estonia in the A final, Spain, Portugal, Slovenia, Italy and Greece going to the B final. So you can see the under 23 men lining up for this first semi-final of this afternoon. In this event, in lane 1, we have Latvia, lane 2, Slovenia, lane 3, Poland, lane 4, AANA, lane 5, Serbia, lane 6, Italy, lane 7, Germany, lane 8, Portugal, and lane 9, Azerbaijan. We have the European champion from last year in the middle of the lane here in lane 5. So here, the Serbian will be one of the favorites to advance onto the A final from this semi-final, but anything can happen in the 200-meter event. So top 3 for the A final. Going into the buckets now, they'll be getting ready to be under starters orders. Taking some last deep breaths to focus in their own lane. And they're away, lane 8. The Portuguese athlete got out the quickest from the buckets, but now they're all pretty much in line with lane 4 from the ANA and the Serbian in lane 5 being your top two at the moment. It looks like the Serbian Dragoslajevic is now in the lead ahead of the AINA and Rozov in lane 4. Top three go to the A final, so the race is on for 1 to 3. At the moment, it looks like ANA, Serbia, and Italy are your top three. And that's who will go on to the A final. So Rozov, Dragoslajevic, and Zanetti are your A finalists from this first semi-final of the under-23 men K1 200 event. That was your top three. You could see on the screen advancing to the A final. So 3 tickets booked from this first semi-final for the A final. You see the slow motion here. The Portuguese timed his first stroke to perfection to jump out first as the leader from this semi-final. No doubt about the top three, and no doubt about your winner either. So there's a confirmation. ANA, Serbia, and Italy go on to the A final, with Latvia, Germany, Portugal, Poland to the B final, and Slovenian athlete will have to wait for the next semi-final to see if he'll also make it to the B final from the semis. We have one more semi-final in this event. And you can see the start list already. In lane 1 we have Turkey, lane 2 Ireland, lane 3 Greece, lane 4 Lithuania, lane 5 Spain, lane 6 AIMB, lane 7 Czech Republic, lane 8 Great Britain, and lane 9 Georgia. Another strong semi-final here with the top three. From here we'll advance onto the A final. 4th to 7th will go to the B final, as well as the best 8th time. You can see the athletes now approaching the start line, the start buckets. They have about 2 minutes until their official start time. They're about 50 meters away from the buckets now. In the starting area, the rule is you have to be in your own lane within the starting area 3 minutes before the official start time. You have to be in the starting area 5 minutes before the start. But you have to be also in your lane 3 minutes before it. There you can see the first athletes going into the buckets already. There's a famous Czech boat in lane 7. The famous Dostal style boat. And the starters' orders now, getting ready for the start school. Ready, set, go. And they're off. Looks like they all came out cleanly. Lane 2, the Irish athlete got stuck in the buckets a little bit, but now everyone's up and running and pretty much all in a line within half a boat length of each other. Looks like lane 6, the AAMB athlete is in the lead at the moment, ahead of the Lithuanian, the Spanish and the Czech. Turkish athlete up in lane 1 also coming in strong to the last 20 meters of the race. So it looks like the AAMB athlete will take the win, Lithuania second and Spain in third. We have to wait for the confirmation of those results, but that's what we could see from up here. So those three advance onto the A final. 4th to 7th will go to the B final, with the 8th having to wait to see if they also qualify onto the B final. There you see the slow motion of the start. The Spanish athlete in the middle caught the start, the best out of this field. But the AAMB athlete quickly took over the lead and held onto his lead to take the win in the semi-final and advance onto the A final. So AAMB, Lithuania and Spain go to the A final, while Czech Republic, Turkey, Greece and Georgia advance to the B final. So the fastest 8th time came from the first semi-final, meaning the British and the Irish athlete just miss out on advancing to the next round. Next race on course is in 3 minutes. The C1 under 23 women, under 23 men, 200-meter semi-final. This is the only semi-final in this event. 6 boats have already qualified from the heats to the A final. So in this semi-final, we have Turkey in lane 1, Czech Republic in lane 2, Romania in lane 3, Spain in lane 4, Ukraine in lane 5, Moldova in lane 6, Italy in lane 7, Slovakia in lane 8, and Germany in lane 9. Top 3 advances onto the A final, and the rest of the field will be out. You can see the athletes approaching the start line now. In their own lanes, you can see they're still about 70 meters away from the start buckets, but in their own lanes in the starting area already. We have the current world champion in lane 4, Raúl Fernández from Spain. He'll be one of the favorites to advance onto the A final from here. European best time was set 10 years ago by Vadim Korobov from Lithuania. We'll see how quick these athletes can go now in this semi-final. They have some nice conditions to try and get some fast times. Into the start buckets they go. Under starters orders now. And they're away clearly in this semi-final of the C1 under 23 men 200-meter event. We have the Spanish athlete already in the lead by almost half a boat length, which is to be expected from him being the current world champion in this event. The Ukrainian athlete next to him in lane 5 is in second at the moment, but really, really closely followed by the Moldovan, also in lane 6. The German athlete is chasing for that top 3 position as well to advance onto the A final. Spain keeps the lead. He'll advance onto the A final along with the Ukrainian and the Moldovan athlete. So there's your winner on the screen, Raul Fernandez. So after winning the World Championships a few weeks ago, he'll have another chance to win a medal tomorrow in the A final. Booking his ticket for that from this semi-final. You can see a lot of Spanish fans here in Szeged. That's great to see that they've traveled all the way here to cheer on their friends, their families, their teammates, which I'm sure is very appreciated by the athletes out on the course. So top 3, Spain, Ukraine, Moldova advance to the A final. The rest of this field is out. There's no B final in this event as there was only 2 heats. So there you see the slow motion of the finish. I have to wait for confirmation. Next race on course will start in about 3 minutes time. It's the K1 under 23 women 200-meter semi-final 1. In lane 1 we have Ireland, lane 2 Latvia, lane 3 Sweden, lane 4 Czech Republic, lane 5 Poland, lane 6 Denmark, lane 7 Italy, lane 8 Serbia, and lane 9 Turkey. It's only one semi-final in this event. We've already had 6 boats advance onto the A final from the heats yesterday. So top 3 from here go to the A final and the rest of the field will be out. There's no B final here either. The European best time set 10 years ago by another Polish athlete also called Dominika, but not the one racing here. Great chance to get some good times today. Perfect conditions out here in Szeged. Now you can see the athletes going into the buckets. They'll be under starters orders once they're all in the bucket. And they're off. It looks like, oh, they're not away clearly. That was another false start today. Second one of the day. We'll have to wait to see who got a false start. Whoever it was will get a warning. If you get 2 warnings, that equals a disqualification. One warning doesn't get you disqualification from the race, but it does mean you have to be a bit more careful going into the next start. You don't want to get another one and be disqualified from the race. Lane 4, the Czech athlete got given the warning. These athletes now have a few minutes to paddle back up, circle around, settle again, and get ready to go into the buckets and start the race for the second time. It's important that they stay calm in these few minutes between the 2 starts. If they stress too much over the delay, it's not going to help them. It's a really hard job to do, but they would know exactly how to do this. They'll take some deep breaths, they'll rethink, they'll refocus onto what they need to do, what they need to focus on. So we see them lining up again, ready to go again in this semi-final of the under-23 women's K1 200 meter semi-final. They're back into the buckets now for round 2 of the start. Hopefully they get away clear this time. And away clearly now. Lane 6, the Danish athlete got out the quickest of the buckets with lane 2 from Latvia as well. But the Polish athlete in lane 5 also going along with them. They're your top 3 at the moment, with the Czech athlete in lane 5 trying to get that 3rd spot as well. But at the moment it looks like it's the Danish and the Polish coming into the last 50 meters of the race along with the Latvian, but the Serbian is trying to challenge for that 3rd position as well as the Czech in lane 4. Looks like your top 3 are Poland, Denmark and Latvia. That'll be your A finalists from this semi-final. So it's Zimnok from Poland taking the win. The Danish Caroline Nielsen takes 2nd. And Krista Berzina from Latvia takes the 3rd spot to the A final. The rest of the field is out. There's no B final in this event. See the slow motion. The Danish girl got out the start bucket the quickest, but the Polish athlete had the fastest 2nd half of the race to take the win in this semi-final. Very happy with that result. She's happy to be in the A final, as she should be. She's got a chance of winning a medal tomorrow in the final. We have one more semi-final today in the 200s. It's going to be the C2 Junior Women's semi-final. It's the only semi-final in this event. We've got 7 boats lining up. Lane 1, Denmark. Lane 2, Italy. Lane 3, AIMB. Lane 4, Spain. Lane 5, Poland. Lane 6, Germany. Lane 7, Ukraine. Top 3 advance onto the A final. The rest of the field is out. There's no B final in this event either. There you can see the athletes approaching the start line now. They'll be called into the start buckets in just a few moments to get ready to go. Into the start buckets now, getting ready to go. And they're away. Clearly no false starts. This time Ukraine in lane 7 got out the quickest from the buckets, along with the Spanish crew in the middle of your lane. AIMB boat in lane 3 also out. They have the lead at the moment, just ahead of the Spanish crew next to them. They are top 2 at the moment, along with the Ukrainians in lane 7. Remember, top 3 advance to the A final. So it's AIMB, Spain and Ukraine going into the last 50 meters of this race now. Looks like it will be these 3 boats advancing onto the A final. So AIMB takes the win with Ukraine in second and Spain in third. They are top 3 going to the A final. No doubt about that. They had about a boat length lead on the rest of the field. So that's all 9 boats now ready for the A final from the heats and the semi-final today. We've got a little gap now before we move on to 500-meter racing in about 12 minutes time. First semi-final in the 500s will be C1 Junior Men 500-meter with 2 semi-finals. So we'll see you here at 3:50. And that start time is for the C1 Junior Men 500 meters.
This is the first semi-final for junior men in C1 in 500 meters. There are two semi-finals, which means the top three of each go to final. The fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, and the next best by hand will go to final B, and the rest is out. We have 8 athletes in the first semi-final from lanes 2 to 9. Georgia, Spain, Romania, Ukraine, Portugal, Italy, Cyprus, and Bulgaria in the first semi-final. Kerülj és sétítjük, tehát létrehozom előfutamból, 3 előfutamból az első helyezett 3
So we're back with the first semi-final of the 500 meter races. We'll start with the C1 junior men. First semi-final. There'll be 2 semi-finals in this event. This first one we got 8 boats. In lane 2 we have Georgia, lane 3 Spain, lane 4 Romania, lane 5 Ukraine, lane 6 Portugal, lane 7 Italy, lane 8 Cyprus, and lane 9 Bulgaria. Start is in about 2 minutes or a minute and a half. You can see the athletes lining up to get ready to go into the buckets now. Once they're in, they'll be under starters orders. So we have 6 more spots up for grabs from these semi-finals. For the A final, 3 have already been taken from the heats with direct qualification into the A final. So top 3 from here goes to the A final, 4th to 7th, and the best 8th time to the B final. The rest of the field will be out. So into the buckets they go now. Last few moments before they start the race.
Lane 2 forward, lane 9 forward, lane 3 forward, ready, set.
And they're away, lane 6, the Portuguese, and lane 9, the Bulgarian, got out of the start buckets the quickest. You can see the Portuguese in the middle in lane 6 is in the lead at the moment, along with the Bulgarian in lane 9, but lane 3, the Romanian, lane 3, the Spanish, is also going with them, as well as the Ukrainian and Romanian in lane 5 and 4. So you have the leader in the middle, the Portuguese athlete with 4 other pretty much in line. 5 of the athletes in the lead are all within about half a boat length to each other. Approaching the halfway point now, we'll see official standings here at the 250 meter mark. Bulgaria in the lead with Portugal in second and Ukraine in third. Not far behind is the Spanish and the Romanian athlete going into the last 200 meters of the event. Bulgarian is still in the lead with the Portuguese, Ukrainian and Spanish fighting for the other 2 spots to advance to the A final. Still Bulgarian, Portuguese and Ukrainian in your top 3, but Ruiz from Spain is also challenging for that top 3 position going into the last 100 meters of the race. The Portuguese athlete Cunha has pulled away slightly from the Bulgarian and the Ukrainian going into the last 40 meters of the race. The Spanish has fallen back slightly, But it looks like he might take the third and final spot for this A final ahead of the Bulgarians. So Portugal, Ukraine and Spain are your A finalists from this semi-final. Bulgarian athlete Iliev will have to go into the B final, and we'll wait for confirmation of who the other three are joining him as well in the B final. We have to wait for confirmation of the results from that, but no doubt about the the three A finalists from this semi-final. So that's the halfway point. Bulgaria was still in the lead. You see the Portuguese celebrating his win and his qualification for the A final. There you see Portugal, Ukraine, Spain advance to the A final. Bulgaria, Romania, Georgia and Italy to the B final. This athlete from Cyprus will have to wait for confirmation from the second semi-final if he also advances to the B final. We can see the next race already lining up. This is the second semi-final of the C1 Junior Man 500 meter event. In lane 2 we have France, in lane 3 Slovakia, lane 4 Moldova, lane 5 AANA, lane 6 Poland, lane 7 Estonia, lane 8 Azerbaijan, lane 9 Germany. We can see the athletes approaching the start buckets now. Once they're in, they'll be under starters' orders.
Lane 6 forward.
You can hear the starter calling them to come forward to the front of the buckets. They have to be all the way in.
Six forward, please. Ready, set.
And they're away. All pretty much came out in a line. Going into the first 100 meters of this race. Once again, top 3 advance onto the A final with 4th to 7th and the best 8th time going to the B final from this semi-final. This is second semi-final of this event of the C1 Junior Men 500 meters. At the moment, we have the German in lane 9 in the lead, ahead of the AANA athlete in lane 5, as well as the Slovakian in lane 3. They're your top 3 at the moment, coming up to the halfway point of this race. We see the official standings going through the 250 now. AANA in the lead, followed by Slovakia and Germany. Moldovan athlete is not far behind, and neither is the Polish. A lot can still change in this race going into the last 200 meters of this event. You can see the Moldovan making a move and challenging for one of those 3 spots to qualify onto the A final. The Polish athlete is also picking up the speed, while the AANA athlete is extending his lead, coming up to the last 100 meters of this race. So lane 5 in the lead by about a boat length ahead of the Moldovan and the Slovakian athlete next to him. The Polish athlete in lane 6 is also challenging the Slovakian to get that 3rd and final spot. So is the German down here in lane 9. No doubt about the winner. Looks like he stopped a bit early, but still managed to win the race. Moldova comes in second with Slovakia in third. Germany will take fourth and just miss the A final. He'll advance onto the B final from this semi-final event. So there's your winner on screen. He'll go to the A final. See a replay of the start here now. So there you see the ANA athlete Minev crossing the finish line in first position to advance onto the A final. And you'll see the confirmation of the results where you get a beautiful view of the racecourse here in Szeged. This is the view that the athletes have going down the course. Doesn't get much better than that when it comes to canoeing race courses. You can see the warm-up lane on the left-hand side. As you look at it now, that's where the athletes paddle up to their race starts. And that's where they do their warm-up. And next race on course will start at 4 o'clock in 2 minutes time with the under 23 men this time in the C1 500 semi-final one. We have 2 semi-finals in this event. So same applies to this as well. Top 3 advances to the A final with 4th to 7th and the best 8th time to the B final. Lane 1 with Portugal, lane 2 Germany, lane 3 Turkey, lane 4 Georgia, lane 5 Moldova, lane 6 Denmark, lane 7 the Czech Republic and lane 8 Ukraine. See the athletes going into the buckets now. Once they're all in, they'll be under starters orders. We have the gold medalist in the 1,000 from this morning in this semi-final, lane 7. And the current world champion in this event as well is the Czech athlete Rudolf in lane 7, so he'll be one to watch for sure here in this semi-final.
Ready, set.
The Czech athlete Adam Rudolf got out the bucket the quickest. A slight drift back just before the start line, but it worked out perfectly for his timing. The Ukrainian Ivanchuk is in the lead at the moment ahead of the Czech athlete Rudolf, along with the Portuguese as well up in lane 1, but there's 5 athletes pretty much in a line at the moment coming up to the first 200 meters of this race now. They're settled into a nice rhythm now, lengthening out their strokes, getting into a 500 meter race pace. Ukraine still in the lead ahead of the Czech Republic and Moldova. Portugal still up there as well, as now 4 of them pretty much in a line. Coming up to the halfway mark, we see official standings here. Ukraine in first with Moldova and Czech Republic following, Portugal not far behind, but Turkey in 5th. Coming up to the last 200 meters of this race, this is where a lot can still change. In this 500 meter event, you can see Rudolf has picked up his stroke rate, picked up the power to start his sprint finish in the last 200 meters of this race. We know he's good at the longer distances, so this will suit him. He'll be a strong finisher, no doubt about that. But now we have the Moldovan in the lead, slightly ahead of Rudolf going into the last 100 meters of the race. The Turkish athlete also joining them to be in the top 3 at the moment. We still have about 40 meters left of the race. Rudolf now in the lead ahead of Tihaya from Moldova. So they're your top 3 crossing the finish line now. Czech Republic, Moldova and Turkey advance onto the A final. Denmark, Portugal, Ukraine going to the B final. So there's your top two from this race. So Adam Rudolph from the Czech Republic will have a chance in the A final tomorrow to retain his title from last year. European best time was set by the canoe legend Martin Fuchsa back in 2015, sorry. So 11 years since that record has been broken. There's the result of semi-final one of the C1 under 23 men 500 meters. Czech Republic, Moldova and Turkey advanced to the A final, with Denmark, Portugal, Ukraine and Georgia going to the B final. The German athlete will have to wait to see if he makes the time to go on to the B final as well. We already have the next race lining up. Should be the second semi-final of this under 23 men's C1 500 event. Another semi-final of 8 boats, with France in lane 1, Lithuania in lane 2, Spain in lane 3, Bulgaria in lane 4, Poland in lane 5, Italy in lane 6, Slovakia in lane 7 and Romania in lane 8. You can see the French athlete on your screens now lining up to go into the bucket. Top 3 go on to the A final from this semi-final as well, by 4th to 7th, along with the best 8th time advances to the B final. See the athletes going into the buckets now. Once they're all in, they'll be under starters orders. And they're off now. Looks like it's a false start. Second one from this afternoon. We'll have to wait to see who got the warning. Lane 8, the Slovakian athlete got the warning for the false start. I need to be a bit more careful in the next start. If he gets another warning, that means a disqualification from the race. We've seen a lot of these false starts recently at the World Cup from a few weeks ago, held in Montreal in Canada. A lot of different races had multiple false starts happening, including the men's K4, where unfortunately the Olympic champion German K4 got disqualified from the race as well. We had some news of the starter buckets being very sensitive there in Canada. So all athletes need to be very careful, especially after receiving a warning, to not receive a second one and then get disqualified from the race. See, now they've circled round. They're getting ready to go again. They have a few minutes now to reset and refocus. It's important that they stay calm in these situations. Going into the buckets now. All in the buckets now, ready for the start. To call this start. And they're off safely this time. No false start the second time. We'll see in a second who's in the lead. It looks like lane 6, the Italian in the lead at the moment, just slightly ahead of the Poland in the lead, slightly ahead of the Bulgarian athlete. So middle lanes, lanes 4 and 5 are your top 2 at the moment, coming up to the first 200 meter of this 500 meter semi-final. Remember, top 3 advance to the A final. 4th to 7th will go to the B final. Approaching the first half of the race now. You have Bulgaria, Poland, Slovakia as your top 3, with Italy close behind and Spain not too far behind either, going into the last 200 meters of the race. Poland still slightly in the lead ahead of Bulgaria, and now the Italian is chasing them down. He also wants one of the 3 spots going to the A final from this semi-final. So at the moment your top 3 are the Bulgarian, the Polish and the Italian. We still have 100 meters left of this race now. But it looks like that will be your top 3 and your 3 to advance to the A final from here in this second semi-final of the C1 Under-23 men's event. Poland holds on to the lead. Bulgaria comes in second, and the Italian takes third and the final spot to the A final. So those are your A finalists: Poland, Bulgaria and Italy. Sieradzan from Poland takes the win. We'll wait for official confirmations to see who advances onto the B final. But no doubt about the top 3 here. They see slow motion of the finish. So all 9 spots now booked for the A final in this men's under-23 C1 500 meter event. 3 from the heats and 6 from the 2 semi-finals here today. And now we can see the next race already lining up. The K2 junior men 500 meter semi-final 1. Lane 1 we have Latvia, lane 2 Sweden, lane 3 Bulgaria, lane 4 Moldova, lane 5 Czech Republic, lane 6 Slovakia, lane 7 Denmark, lane 8 Great Britain and lane 9 Lithuania. And they're off now. Clean start from these athletes, no false starts in this race. Looks like Slovakia potentially in the lead, but we'll wait to see where they are after 100 meters into the race. first of 3 semi-finals in this event. Top 3 advance to the A final, with 4th to 6th going to the B final. Lane 4, the Moldovans in the lead at the moment, just ahead of the Czech and the Slovakian crew. They're your top 3 at the moment, going into the first 250 meters of the race. So Moldova have almost a boat length lead on the Slovakians and the Czechs, going into the last 200 meters of this race now. Great Britain are also trying to come up to get one of those top 3 spots to advance onto the A final, along with the Polish, along with the Bulgarians as well in lane 3. Moldova still in the lead, with Slovakia in second and Czech Republic in third, going into the last 50 meters of the race. Looks like Moldova hold on to the lead to finish first, with Slovakia in second and the Czech Republic in third. Bulgaria and Great Britain advance to the B final from this semi-final. There's the winners from this first semi-final of this event, showing us some love, showing their supporters some love. Clearly very happy with that result, as they should be, as they've got their ticket for the A final. There you can see the slow motion of the start, going to the middle of the race. And now the finish line. No doubt about the top 3 here. Showing the celebration of the winners from that semi-final. We have 2 more semi-finals in this event. Starting at the second one, starting in just a minute. In lane 1 we have Serbia, lane 2 Hungary, lane 3 Italy, lane 4 Spain, lane 5 France, lane 6 AANA, lane 7 Portugal, lane 8 Norway, and lane 9 Israel. Going into the buckets now, under starters orders, ready to go. Top 3 go to the A final from this race as well. And their away Portuguese K2 got out the start the quickest. Portugal was the world champion earlier this year in Canada in this event. So the Portuguese are in the lead at the moment, along with the Hungarians, who are in second, or potentially in the lead now, just ahead of them, but they're all within about half a boat length of each other, 7 boats within about 2 meters, coming up to the first 200 meters of this race now. You see some official standings going through the halfway point. And your top 3 are Hungary, France, and Portugal. We've got about 200 meters left of this race. A lot can change when they cross this big boys of the 200-meter mark. This is where they start picking up the pace. Back paddler in these K2s have to give the front paddler more power to show that he's ready to pick up the stroke rate as well. Then the front paddler will pick the stroke rate up slightly to start a sprint finish, going into the last 100 meters of this race now. So Hungary in the lead at the moment, with France in second and Portugal in third. So Hungary take the win, France second, Portugal third. They are your top 3 advancing to the A final, with the Spanish just missing out on qualifying for the A final. There's your winners from Hungary. They've just qualified for the A final tomorrow. You see a slow motion of that start. Portugal caught the start perfectly to jump out as fast and then held on for the top three to advance onto the A final. There's your winners. Clear win from Hungary. Great job. High five to each other. Great teamwork as well here. Clearly practiced that a lot and worked together as a team. We have one more semi-final in this race. Another full semi-final of 9 boats. Lane 1, we have Ireland. Lane 2, Finland. Lane 3, Poland. Lane 4, AIMB. Lane 5, Turkey. Lane 6, Germany. Lane 7, Ukraine. Lane 8, Belgium. And lane 9, Austria. We see the Turkish athlete Rami Karahan back in yet another race. He's already won a medal earlier this morning in the K1000 meters. He got the bronze. You can see the athletes lining up in the starting area in their own lanes, getting ready to go into the buckets. Once again, top three advance onto the A final from here, with 4th to 6th going to the B final. Going into the buckets now. They have the last few moments of relaxing, taking some deep breaths, potentially last few words to each other to remind each other what they're focused on. Under starters orders now. And they're away. All pretty much came out together in a line. But now lane 4, the AIMB boat, slightly ahead of the rest of the field. Poland in 2nd at the moment, along with the Germans as well. We've still got a long way to go, about 100 meters into the race now. A lot can change in the second half of these 500-meter races, also depending on the race plan these athletes have chosen to do, have planned to do with their coaches, with their teams. Let's see official standings going through the halfway point. AIMB in the lead with Turkey in 2nd and Ukraine in 3rd, closely followed by Germany and Poland. Going into the last 200 meters of the race, leaders remain the AIMB crew, but now the Turkish K2 is challenging them for the win, along with the Germans and the Ukrainians. So it's Ukraine, Turkey, and AIMB as your top three as we currently stand in the last 100 meters of the race now. AIMB still in the lead with Turkey and Ukraine as your 2nd and 3rd crew. AIMB will win this semi-final. Turkey will take 2nd and Ukraine takes 3rd and the final spot for the A final. So those are your A finalists from this semi-final. AIMB, Turkey and Ukraine, with the Germans just missing out on the final. They go on to the B final. So that's all the semi-finals done for this event. The final for this will be tomorrow at 10:35, with the B final just 20 minutes after at 10:55. So it's important for these athletes to go and do a long and good cool down now after this race to wash out the lactic from this tough semi-final they've just done. Then they'll need to focus on rest and recovery this afternoon, this evening, to get ready for a big day of racing in the finals tomorrow. Next race on course will be the K2 Junior Women 500 meter semi-finals. We've got 2 semi-finals in this event. Top 3 will go to the A final, 4th to 7th, with the best 8th time advancing to the B final. This first semi-final, we have Israel in lane 1, Serbia in lane 2, Sweden in lane 3, Czech Republic in 4, Denmark in lane 5, Croatia in lane 6, Norway in lane 7, Slovakia in lane 8, and Portugal in lane 9. We've already had three crews advance onto the A final from the heats. So we have 6 more spots up for grabs this afternoon from the 2 semi-finals. You can see the athletes lining up now to go into the buckets. Lane 6 holding back a bit compared to the rest of the field. They go into the buckets last. They don't want to hang in there for too long before they need to. You can see the Slovakian athlete just taking some last deep breaths before they start this semi-final. And they're away, a clean start from the field. The Czech crew in lane 4 had the quickest start of them all, along with the Serbians in lane 2. Those are your top 2 at the moment going into the first 100 meters of this race. With the K2 from Israel also up there, as well as the Croatians in lane 6. Slovakians are also going with the front group. And the top 3 advance to the A final. So these girls will want to get that one of those top 3 finishes to go to the A final tomorrow. Portugal down here in lane 9, who are out of our picture, in the top 3 at the moment, along with Czech Republic and Serbia. Going into the last 200 meters of the race, still Serbia, Czech Republic and Portugal in your top 3. This is where some of the different tactics will come into play. But at the moment, your top 3 are pretty clear: Czech Republic, Serbia and Portugal. Looks like Serbia has taken the lead now. Serbia in the lead with about 40 meters left of the race. And it looks like Serbia, the Czech Republic and Portugal down in lane 9 will qualify for the A final. Denmark comes in 4th, just misses out on the A final. There's your winners from Serbia. Very well timed race, very controlled race from these two girls. And they've got their tickets for the A final. They have a chance to try and win a medal tomorrow in the final. And there we can see the slow motion of the start. Great start by the Czech crew. There you see the finish of the top three, no doubt about the top three boats. This is the results up on the screen. Serbia, Czech Republic, Portugal advanced to the A final. Denmark, Israel, Croatia, and Norway to the B final, as Sweden will have to wait to see if they get the fastest 8th time. We have one more semi-final in this event. In the K2 Junior Women's 500. Lane 1, we have Moldova. Lane 2, Belgium. Lane 3, Germany. Lane 4, Romania. Lane 5, Italy. Lane 6, Ukraine. Lane 7, Spain. Lane 8, Slovenia. And lane 9, the AINA crew. Once again, top 3 will go to the A final, 4th to 7th, with the best 8th time qualify for the B final. Few moments away from the start. Last little chance for these girls to think through their plans, maybe have a few words to say to each other about what they want to focus on, just remind each other of what their plan is going down this course. Take a few deep breaths, refocus. And just keep their eyes on their own lanes. They can't get distracted by anyone else. We have different race plans going into this race, just like we've seen in so many of the other races, especially in the longer distances. All in the buckets now under starters orders, waiting to go. And they're away. Italy got the best start of them all, along with the Slovenians down in lane 8. The AINA crew also in lane 9 got out quick from the buckets. But it now looks like it's Romania, Italy and the AINA as your top 3 at the moment, with the Spanish also challenging for one of those top 3 spots. We're only 100 meters into the race, still have 400 meters left. Still a long way to go. And a lot can still change. We have Anastasia Insabella in the Italian K2. She's already won a medal earlier today in the 1,000 meters. She's now back in the K2 to try and get another A final. Going through the halfway point, we see official standings. Italy in the lead, Romania in second, and Spain in third, closely followed by the AINA K2. Going into the last 200 meters, the Italian crew is now pulling away from the rest of the field, with Romania still in second. And the Spanish have now moved up to third. Going into the last 100 meters of the race now, going into the red boys. This is where they have to dig deep. This is where the lactic comes. They need to work together as a crew to move the boat as smooth as possible, even when their muscles are getting tired. Italy is still in the lead, no doubt about that. They'll take the win. Romania will come in second, with Spain in third. Those are your top 3 qualifying for the A final. They've booked the last 3 spots for the A final in this junior K2 event. So Isabella has another chance to win another medal after already winning the bronze in the K1000 earlier this morning. There's a slow motion of the race. Italy led from start to finish. Beautiful race by them. And practicing the lunge, ready for the final tomorrow. High five for the win. Oh. Take two for the high five. And very happy, as they should be. There's confirmation of the result. Italy, Romania, and Spain advance to the A final. Germany, Belgium, and AIN, along with Slovenia, go to the B final. We have 3 more semi-finals this afternoon. Next race on course will be the K2 under 23 men 500 meter semi-final 1. Lane 1, Azerbaijan. Lane 2, Great Britain. Lane 3, Turkey. Lane 4, Latvia. Lane 5, Germany. Lane 6, Portugal. Lane 7, Israel. Lane 8, Spain. And lane 9, Denmark. Looks like we're still waiting on one more boat. Eight boats in this semi-final. Oh no. Yeah, 8 boats. We're missing lane 1. Into the buckets under starters orders now. Top 3 to the A final here as well. And they're away. Clean start by the K2s. All out pretty much in a line at the moment. Hardly anything separating them. British boat have a slight lead ahead of the rest of the field in this first 100 meters of the race. The Latvians also going strong along with the Germans. You can see now it's the Israel K2 in lane 7 who are in the lead, along with the Germans in the middle. Coming up to the halfway point with the official standings of where they are. Germany in the lead, followed by Latvia and Israel, Portugal and Great Britain close behind as well. Going into the last 200 meters of the race, Germany is still in the lead, but now being challenged by Latvia as well next to them. Israel still trying to get and remain one of those spots in the top 3, but you can now see the Turkish crew picking up the speed coming up to the last 100 meters of this race. Germany still hold on to the lead, just ahead of Turkish and the Latvian crew, but the Turkish K2 might have taken over the lead now from the Germans. It will be a close finish between Turkey, Germany and Latvia, but those are your top 3 advancing to the A final. A great race by all these K2s in this first semi-final of the K2 500 meter event. A very close race An exciting finish. You could see, once again, different tactics coming into play. Some fast starters and some fast finishers. See the slow motion of the start. Turkey timed it to perfection to pull away from the rest of the field in the last 100 meters of this race to take the win. Germany takes second and Latvia take third. So they're your top three in the semi-final, and your A finalists. We've got 3 more places up for grabs for the final in this event. We have 1 more semi-final coming up shortly in just a few minutes. In lane 1, we'll have Ireland, lane 2, Serbia, lane 3, Sweden, lane 4, AIMB, lane 5, Poland, lane 6, Italy, lane 7, Ukraine, lane 8, Bulgaria, and lane 9, AINA. You can see the athletes are now lining up to go to the bucket in the starting area in their own lanes. Top 3 again go on to the A final, with 4th to 7th advancing to the B final along with the 8th best time. We can hear the drums ready to cheer on these athletes from the grandstand here in Szeged. Great atmosphere here. And now we see the athletes going into the buckets and shortly going to be under starters' orders. And they are away. Clean start by all these athletes in this semi-final, second semi-final of the K2 under 23 man 500 meter event. We have lane 2, the Serbians, already out in front by about half a boat length ahead of the rest of the field. AINA crew in lane 9 in second at the moment, with the Italians in third going into the first 150 meters of this 500 meter race. We'll see once again different tactics coming into play. Some fast starts along with some fast finishes in the second half of this 500 meter race. We'll see official standings now. Serbia in the lead with AINA in second and Italy in third, closely followed by the Polish crew in the middle in lane 5. Going into the last 200 meters of the race, Serbia are still in the lead, AINA in second, but now the Polish crew are chasing the leaders. They want one of the 3 spots going into the A final. Italy and the Ukrainian crews are fighting it out also to try and get one of those 3 spots going into the last 100 meters of this race. The AINB boat also picking up the pace. Now the Serbians are dropping a bit after a flying start, and it looks like Poland is going to take the win. AINA in second and AINB in third. They are your top 3 going to the A final. This is a perfect demonstration of all different tactics that can work well in 500 meters racing. That's the beauty of a 500 meter event. We can have fast sprinters along with some endurance athletes also doing just as well in this event. This is a speed endurance event, so it works for a variety of different athletes. And it also makes for a very exciting race every single time. You can see the lead the Serbians and the ANA crew had at this point, 200 meters to go into the race, but the Polish timed their race to perfection to take the win and get the lead in the last 100 meters of this race. So that's all the A final spots, all 9 spots booked from the heat and the semi-finals. And we have one more race this afternoon, the K2 under 23 women 500 meter semi-final. There's only one semi-final in this event. Top 3 will advance to the A final. The rest of the field is out as there's no B final in this race. Lane 1, we have Switzerland, and lane 2, Portugal, lane 3, France, lane 4, Denmark, lane 5, Italy, lane 6, Spain, lane 7, Serbia, lane 8, Turkey, and lane 9, Lithuania. So 3 spots in the A final up for grabs here in the semi-final. 6 boats have already qualified from the heat. Boats are now approaching the start line. Few moments away from the start. This is a perfect opportunity for these girls to rethink, focus on their race plan, have a last few words with each other, remind each other of what they're planning to do. Take some last deep breaths before going into the bucket and focus down their own lane. Under starters orders now. Top 3 go to the A final. False start in this event. From here it looked like it was the Italians in lane 5 doing a stroke into the bucket before it went down. But we'll see who gets the warning. They'll now circle round, paddle back. Yeah, you can see it's lane 5, the Italians. They have to be a bit more careful in the next start. If they do another false start, they get disqualified. Lane 7 also got a warning for a false start. That's the Serbians. So 2 boats with a warning going into the second start. You can see the boats circling around, getting ready to go back into the buckets in their own lanes. So you can see the athletes lining up now, approaching the start buckets again. Lane 7 and lane 5 will have to be a little bit more careful. They don't want to risk getting a disqualification for a second false start. And they're away. Clear this time, no false starts. Great start from the Italians in lane 5, along with the Danish next to them in lane 4. They're the top two at the moment going into the first 150 meters of this race. Danish lead at the moment, just ahead of the Italians and the Spanish in this semi-final. Just approaching the first 200 meters of this race. Once they get to the halfway point, we'll see official standings of where they are. Denmark still in the lead, Spain in second with Italy in third. The French are also chasing down. Remember, top 3 advance to the A final from this semi-final. Going into the last 200 meters of the race, Spain has now taken the lead from the Danish and the Italians. The French crew is also challenging for one of those 3 spots in this semi-final. The Spanish are still in the lead ahead of Denmark, Italy and France. Going into the last 100 meters of this race now, into the red boys. The Spanish are still in the lead. Danish crew is holding on for second for now, and the fight is on for third between the French and the Italian crew. It looks like the French crew have taken over the Italians. Spain will take the win. Denmark gets second and France gets third, and the final spot into the A final. High five for a great race for the Spanish girls, Duran and Pareja. A perfectly timed and planned race from them to take the win in this semi-final and get one of the A final spots and have a chance to win a medal in tomorrow's final. The final tomorrow is going to be at 1:25. See slow motion of the race now. Spanish took the lead from 200 meters to go and just extended it over to the finish line, with the Danish holding on for second and the French taking the third spot to advance to the A final. Great job by the girls, and I'm sure tomorrow's final is going to be a very exciting one. That's the end of racing for today. There's the official results. Spain, Denmark and France advance to the A final. The rest of this semi-final are out. There's no B final in this event. So that's the third day done. We've got a day of finals tomorrow starting at 9 o'clock with the K1 under 23 men final B. The first A final is going to be at 9:20 with the under 23 men's K1 500 meter A final. So I hope you all had a great day, whether you watched from home or from Szeged. I'll be back tomorrow to commentate tomorrow's finals. So I hope you all have a lovely evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, this ends the third day of the Paddle Europe Junior and Under 23 Spring Championships here in Szeged, Hungary in 2026. Tomorrow morning we start at 9 o'clock. First you will see B finals in 500 meters. Our first A final starts at 9